What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. Today's video we're talking about SA Rugby being stronger together. The question is, are they stronger together? Now personally, the only way South African rugby can be stronger together is if politics stay the heck out of it. The only way sport can be stronger together is if politics stay the heck out of it. I did a poll today, and so far 291 votes at the time of recording this video have taken place, and 90% have said no, politics and sport do not go well together. However, 10% say they disagree with me and think politics should go well together. Now, I don't see how politics can help a sport unless it's done the way Nelson Mandela did it, by influencing and uniting a nation. Currently, that's not happening. We are seeing sports ministers accusing or telling players or telling a union to investigate rugby players for not taking a knee in support of Black Lives Matter. However, they still supported the movement by wearing the shirt of saying rugby is against racism. Sporting stars have expressed their views of being against racism, of how they work and help in the communities. These same players, especially Faf de Klerk, who is very good mates with the Springbok rugby captain in Siya Kolisi. The whole movement of the Speedo was together with Siya Kolisi. Now, if Faf de Klerk was racist, would he be so close with the Springbok captain? Obviously, you know the answer to that. But unfortunately, with the likes of politics and sport, needs to find ways to interrupt the game, interrupt the atmosphere. And we tend to see the game and the sport get tarnished. Not too long ago, South Africa was singing together, chanting together, celebrating together, hugging together, showing no form of racism because the sport was united. Yet there were still politicians at the time who said South Africa aren't united because there's not enough amount of players of colour, etc., etc. Yet I think personally SA Rugby have come a long way under the leadership of Rassie Erasmus, where we've seen stars like Siya Kolisi, Makazola Mapimpi, Lucanio, the list goes on. Cheslin Colby reintroduced, Gio Aplon coming back to South Africa to play for the Bulls, Warren Gilland. I mean, come on, there's names. Bongi Mbonanwe, Trevor Nyakanye. There's phenomenal talent out there that have been reintroduced to the sport. Now, don't get me wrong, it wasn't handled right in the past. And there's well proof of that. The development of transformation wasn't great in the past, which is why politics got involved and did the quota system. Now, please note, quota system and transformation are two different things. Quota system is when a player who is not ready to play international rugby gets thrown into a position. Transformation is bringing the sport to the community and introducing it to townships, to the locations. And the goal of the sport is to prevent youngsters from going towards crime, drugs, whatever it may be, and focus on creating a sporting life, giving them an opportunity at a future. Politics in sports destroys the image of what a success story of a township boy leading his country and uniting a nation and a world. And politics seems to find a way of forcing out the movement that is out there for good intentions, yet there are still people who are using it, destroying churches, destroying statues, threatening people's lives, giving death threats for not doing a movement of taking a knee because they have beliefs where they will only kneel down to their savior. Now, there's players of colour who have actually gone against the movement. They agree with the stance and what it's about in order to bring and educate. But there's players out there of colour who will refuse to take the knees because of their religious beliefs. We've seen it this past weekend in the Premiership Rugby. It's not just South African players. It's Billy Vunipola. It is, Israel Folau. It is other players of colour that did it. Tuolagi, There are people out there, and unfortunately with negative media, politics and sport, it twists and turns the image of what should be good into something negative, which then threatens the positions of others out there, where nations get destroyed, where sporting codes get destroyed. Proof is in the pudding. Just look at South Africa. Cricket South Africa, on the verge of just being destroyed because there's no unity, there's no level of what to do next, there's no blueprint of how to come out of a mess that was created because politics got involved. People were in positions that didn't deserve to be there. Money was passed around. Favors were done. And now we look at the proof of what politics, fraud, or not having the right people involved can do. Cricket South Africa has lost the CEOs, resigned, and acting CEOs have now resigned because they weren't given the freedom to do what they needed to change the sport. Now, if politics gets involved and starts questioning why certain rugby players do not do a movement because of their own beliefs, and then gets an investigation which causes a Mercer storm around the world and country, it just continues to create a negative environment. How are we going to move forward? Simple. Remove politics and from sport. How are we going to do that? It's very hard, and that it is. Invest. Sell the board. Sell the sport. When I say sell the sport, obviously I'm thinking logically, no, let's just sell it and it's gone. Get people to own SA Rugby or Cricket South Africa and let the control be done there with a ruling of doing it the right way. Still offering transformation for the right reasons. Eliminating quotas. Eliminating fraudsters who are taking money for their own being. Rassie Erasmus has done a lot for SA Rugby and he's transformed the sport. The proof is in the pudding. There was a negative environment in the past, correct. But also, it's the players' responsibility, especially the leaders, and especially those who have been groomed to be leadership positions, to also speak up and stand up for themselves, to also share their story, to also share their culture with others so that everyone can learn. And it's not just favoritized or prioritized over one specific language or culture. It creates unity, it creates equality, and it will create a better environment for all. So for me, how do we do this? The guys at the top, the Rassie Erasmuses, Graham Smith if he's still there, all these big names, big influences, take control, change the sport, refuse political interference. How are you going to do that? It's going to be tough because you'll probably get fired. But the only way to get them out of the sport is by speaking the truth, sharing the story, and not focusing on the negative or hiding behind people's image because you're worried about your career. Stand up, speak. If you don't speak, nothing's going to be done. And then we're going to sit down and see, be in a position like Bafana Bafana, a sports team that has the potential of greatness, but yet it's not managed well, and they just can't progress. South Africa has the passion for soccer, football. Why aren't we the top team? Because there's no structures, correct sporting structures in place to take the sport to the next level. Let's see what happens. I'm being hopeful. I have faith in the sport. I have faith in the country. I don't have faith in the politics though. And the only way to create the sport is by getting people involved, the right people, to take control of your sporting code and to make it something special and great. Look at New Zealand rugby. They're taking out or experimenting their own initiatives by getting investments so that they have control of what they want to do and how they see the sport moving in the future. That for me is the way forward. And that is the only breakaway that I can picture from politics and sport. Because without politics, sport is great. because it has the power to change the world, and it is more powerful than governments in breaking down racial barriers. The great Nelson Mandela said that exact quote. I'm going to do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, smash that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you real soon for another one. Stay safe and never give up. Cheers.